The Haunting of Hill House is a 2018 Netflix original horror show based on the book of the same name. Similar to the source material, there's a sinister side to the show, and throughout this video I'll be discussing the ending of it as well as how I think the house really won. There will be heavy spoilers, and I definitely recommend that you check out the show if you're a fan of all things horror. With that out the way, I'm Deffinition, and I ruin the show so you don't have to. Hill House itself is pure evil. Whilst we are never given a concrete explanation to its powers, the house is able to bring forth hallucinations, act as a refuge for the dead, and bend space and time. The house's main goal is to feed on the living so that it can continue to thrive. It does this by driving people to the brink of misery and insanity so that they take their own lives. Throughout the show, the house is purposely creating custom curated ghosts and spectres that prey on the Crain family's worst fears. Each ghoul and apparition has been purposely designed with one goal in mind: to bring the family back to the Red Room, which is the house's stomach, so that it can feast on them. During the show, the house twists and repurposes the Red Room so that it appears to be a safe area in which each member of the Crain family can relax to be digested. To Luke, it is a treehouse, Steve sees a games room, Olivia a reading room, and so on. It is a room which is tailor-made towards them so that they can feel some sense of sanity whilst also being driven insane. Originally home to the Hill family, the house managed to murder most of them, even going so far as to cause William Hill to brick himself behind a wall out of fear. Which brings me to my next point. The house's greatest trick is that it makes people wall themselves off from the world and tricks them into believing that they are safe within it, so they refuse to leave. It does this successfully to Olivia Crain and almost fools her into murdering her two youngest children. She does, however, manage to get the Dudleys' daughter, Abigail, which plays into the next part. In the final episode, we learn that the father, Hugh, almost burnt the house down, but was stayed from doing so by the Dudleys. After Olivia murdered their daughter, Abigail, they realised that the house had kept her spirit alive, and if it were to be destroyed, their daughter would go with it. So, they make a deal with the devil and convince Hugh to abstain from setting it alight. To me, this is another trick that the house pulls. Just as it is about to be destroyed, it manages to manipulate the Dudleys into pulling at the heartstrings of Hugh and puts him into a position where he would have to be a monster to deny them. It's a smart move that I haven't seen many people pick up on, and it allows the house to continue to trick the Crains into coming back so it can feast on them once more. The saying that the house always wins is definitely true here. Even in the end, it manages to trick Hugh into taking his own life by making it appear that he has no other option. It truly highlights just how sinister it is, and it's a very smart move that even tricks the audience into thinking that there is somewhat of a happy ending. To me, this is hammered home by the fact that the house has a clear control over time. We discover that the bent neck lady that haunts Nell is actually a version of her from the future that committed suicide. In a last-ditch attempt at the moment of her death, Nell tries to travel back in time to warn herself, but ultimately this ends up making her return to the house to commit the act. Nell obviously did not possess the power herself, so this was the house playing its hand to cause her to return there so it could feed once more. It's a brilliant reveal and definitely stands as one of the strongest moments in the show. So, what did you think of The Haunting of Hill House? Personally, I absolutely loved it. It's everything I wish American Horror Story would be, and it was incredibly well paced and acted. It has one of the best continuous shots that I've ever seen in anything ever, and blew me away from start to finish. Do you agree with my thoughts on how the house always wins? Is there anything I missed? Do you think that they should have just called the Ghostbusters? Just comment below and let me know. This is a channel for people who are heavy into horror, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Make sure you check out my recent breakdown of the ending of the new Netflix horror Apostle, linked at the end of this one. And if you want to support the channel so I can bring more videos like this, check out my Patreon, which is linked in the description. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. I've been Deffinition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.